The Vanishing Hitchhiker. She is the oldest ghost on American roads. Folklorists have logged her under hundreds of names since the 1940s. A driver picks her up. She gives an address. She vanishes before they arrive. The Resurrection Mary sighting logs. Chicago police received reports of a pale young woman in a white dress walking along Archer Avenue as early as 1939. Drivers swore she climbed into their cars near Resurrection Cemetery. They swore she asked to be taken home. They swore the seat was empty by the time they reached the gate. The Folklore Index of 1942. Researcher Richard Beardsley cataloged 79 versions of the Vanishing Hitchhiker tale across the United States that single year. Different states, different names, the same girl, the same disappearance. This was not one ghost story. This was a pattern. The verdict on Resurrection Mary. Folklorists rank her account as mostly false. A migratory legend, not a documented death. No name matches a real grave with that story attached. But the sightings did not stop. Police reports continued into the 1970s. But what they didn't know was that the next legend on this list would have an actual body count. The man in the backseat. Truck drivers call this one the worst. A woman flags down a car late at night. She climbs in. She sits in the back. She says nothing for miles. The headlight warning detail. At some point, the woman tells the driver to flash his headlights at every truck that passes. He does. Each truck flashes back, frantic. He doesn't understand why until he stops and looks behind him. The discovery beneath the seat. The back seat is empty. There was no woman. According to dozens of regional variants collected since the 1960s, what the truckers were trying to warn him about was a man crouched in his back seat holding an axe. The verdict on the phantom warning. Almost entirely fabricated. No police record anywhere matches this exact sequence. But the structure of the story is older than cars. It echoes axe murderer legends from horse and buggy folklore in the 1800s. The fear is recycled. The vehicle just changed. The story you have been hearing is the version told to scare teenagers at sleepovers. The real history of American highways holds something worse. Something that did not need ghosts. Something that was simply a man in a real car on a real road. The Interstate killer pattern. Beginning in the late 1970s, FBI analysts began noticing unsolved murders clustered along interstate corridors. Bodies of young women. Found near exit ramps. Found in ditches off frontage roads. The Highway Serial Killings Initiative. In 2009, the FBI formally launched a project tracking 500 unsolved murders linked to interstate trucking routes. This was not folklore. This was a task force. This was real. The geography of disappearance. Victims were most often last seen at truck stops, rest areas, and roadside motels. Places built for transients. Places where no one expects you to stay long enough to be missed. According to investigators' own statements, the highway system itself was the perfect hunting ground. Nobody local. Nobody watching too closely. The verdict on the killer truckers pattern. Mostly true. Several convicted killers, including long-haul drivers, were tied directly to clusters on this list. The legend that something is out there on the interstate was, in this case, not exaggeration. It was understatement. But what they didn't know was how close this got to becoming a story told about their own town. The Bunny Man Bridge. In Fairfax County, Virginia, locals still warn each other about a concrete underpass on Colchester Road. A man in a rabbit costume. An axe. A bridge where, supposedly, several people were found hanged in the decades after. The 1970 police reports. Two real reports exist. A man in a rabbit suit threw a hatchet at a car windshield in October 1970, and weeks later, threatened another group with an axe near a house under construction. These reports are documented. They are real. The embellishment layer. Everything else. The hangings, the asylum origin story, the body count at the underpass, was added later, stacked on top of two strange but minor incidents from a single autumn. The verdict on Bunnyman Bridge. Partially true. A real, bizarre, low-level criminal incident inflated over 50 years into a murder legend with zero documented deaths at the bridge itself. Here is where the ranking stops behaving the way you expect. The story considered the most exaggerated, the most laughed off, the one treated as campfire nonsense for 60 years, turns out to share its origin city with a real, documented killer who used the exact method described in the legend, the Lakeshore Drive disappearances. Reports from the original urban legend forums, dating back to early Reddit threads from 2012, described a recurring rumor: hitchhikers vanishing along a specific stretch of Chicago Lakefront Road, always at night, always near a particular overpass. The forum investigation. Amateur researchers cross-referenced the rumor against missing persons databases. They found something. Not ghosts. 3 confirmed disappearances along that corridor between 1991 and 2003. Never solved. Never connected by police at the time they happened. The connecting detail. All 3 missing persons reports mentioned the same secondhand detail from witnesses: a dark sedan parked near the overpass, engine running, for hours before each disappearance. The verdict on Lakeshore Drive. Unconfirmed, but unsettling. No suspect was ever named. No arrest was ever made. The case remains, according to Chicago Police Department records, still listed as open, unresolved. The final ranking. Of the legends carried by every trucker, every late-night driver, every teenager daring a friend to drive past a bridge alone, most were invention. Migrated stories, borrowed fears, decoration on top of nothing. But 1 in 5 carried a real name, a real file number, a real family still waiting for an answer. The roads do not remember the ghosts. They remember the ones who never came home.